Good morning. This is Lindsay. It is uh, January 10th, 2025 26, and yeah, sorry, it's early in the morning. I'm just going to do a video. I want to talk about how okay. Whenever you're involved with somebody who, you've already figured out what they're about, right? You already know that they have what you called them out on what you think they are. Okay? And so in other words, maybe if they're narcissistic and you've let them know that that's what you think, you've let them know in front of them that you think that they've lied to you, that they've cheated or whatever, if they've said that they have only been with you, but you know that they've not, and you said you suspect they've cheated. Well, so what'll happen, or what's happening in my situation is so what they'll do, they'll disappear for a while. When something goes wrong, they don't get what they want, or you tell them you don't want to have anything to do with them, and you block them and all that stuff. And you want to go your own direction, and you want to just be left, the relationship's over. And then then they come back or whatever, that they hoover and they come back after several weeks or a month, and then they just don't even acknowledge that anything ever went wrong. They just basically act like nothing's wrong and that everything is normal, and that they just show back up in your life unexpected, right? Because they want to punish you, or they want to try to get something out of you, or whatever reason these people have. You don't know exactly, but you can feel that there's something that they're too ashamed to tell you something, or they have unfinished business, or they just want to come back and distract you or bother you or throw you off your track if you feel like you're doing well and you've gotten over them. Whatever. They don't want you to move on. They just want you to be stuck in that situation where you're wondering. They just want you to feel stuck and trapped. It's a trap. It's to make you feel stuck and to make you feel stagnant, so that you don't move on, because these people, that's what they do. It's about keeping their victims in a state of feeling codependent on them, codependent on their reaction to, or their, it's all about control and them having the desire to have you feel like you can't live without them. And they'll which is not true, but they turn everything upside down to make it look like you're the one who's so needy and desperate for them, when in fact you're doing just fine without them. And they come back to try to fucking confuse you and start all over again with the bullshit, when you know that they can't be trusted. And they'll do that when something has gone wrong with whoever they monkey branched to or got involved with, whatever person, if it was their ex, somebody from their job, or whoever the hell it is that they've been involved with. They'll lie about that, because you know that these people, when you're dealing with a sex addict, a narcissistic sex addict, they can't be alone. They need constant attention from the opposite sex. As far as and I'm not just talking about online flirting. That's one thing, to chat with people online or Facebook or whatever, social media. I'm talking about they need the physical action. They need to constantly be, if it's a sex addict and it's a man and he's all about his ego and his penis, which is what a lot of them are about, the bigger the penis, the bigger the ego, they say. Well, then in that case, he needs to actually have the physical activity. They'll say that, oh, I can go. No, they can't. They can't go even a week without some kind of sex or some kind of something, physical stimulation. So they'll lie and say, no, I haven't been with anybody in 3 weeks. No, that's a lie. You know that they cannot function unless they have, or they act like they can't function unless they have sex or what they need, which is they need the physical intimacy from whoever, whatever they can get it from. And when they know that you, as a primary source of supply, was supplying them with what they wanted or what they needed or what they were getting something out of, and you reject them or you end it, and you tell them no, then of course that pisses them off more than anything. And they go into a rage of which they'll start doing things that are impulsive. And, like I said, they'll go out with anybody they can get. They'll just start doing a lot of promiscuity because they need that addiction. They need to feed that fuel, and they get fuel from you. They had been getting fuel from you and many others as well, which they lie about, but they need that fuel to keep them going. It's like a life force. They need to release that energy that they have, which is what a man, a lot of men will just they will masturbate or whatever. And these kinds of narcissistic people, a lot of these men will say, I'll say something, why don't you just do that? Don't you have a hand? Why don't you just use your hand? A lot of men do that. Oh, no, I'd never do that. I would never do that. That's not, I'm a Catholic. I don't, well, okay, that's probably a lie. You know that most men, if they're not getting sexual, a lot of them, they're too ashamed to admit that they probably do actually jack off or masturbate or whatever word you want to use to describe it, terminology, but you get the idea. So they're too ashamed to admit that they do that, or they're not going to admit that they've been out with other women or other men, whoever they get what they need from. They'll lie to you. They're going to fucking lie. You're going to say right to their face, directly ask them, so have you been intimate with someone else? No, I haven't. Not since you. You're the only one oh, okay. Yeah, but sure, it's a lie. You can feel it deep down in your senses. You know that they're lying to you. You know that they're fucking lying to you. At least I do, right? I know that. But you'll go along with it for whatever reason, because maybe you feel like you want to, for whatever reason, you'll just kind of like dismiss it or play like it's not happening, and just honestly, I don't know what it's like they have some kind of an effect on you, or they put some kind of a spell on you where they start love bombing you all over again. They'll start that whole process. Like they come back, they breadcrumb you with little you're gorgeous, or this. They disappear. They come back. When they come back for the re-hoovering, for the final, which is going to be a final fucking discard, I'll tell you right now, with these relationships, and every single narcissistic coach out there talks about the same concept, that they will come back, to hoover and do all that fucking love bombing stuff that they do, but it's more intensified, right? It's going to be really, really intense. Probably for the first couple of days that they come back, it's like they want to spend all this time with you, right? They haven't been with you for months or a week or months, a month or however long, but all of a sudden they come back and they want to spend every living moment with you. They can't get enough of you. They want to do this, they want to do that. Oh, really? Why is that? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you re-hooked on, re-addicted to them, or they want to trauma bond you. That's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to act like they're trying to make you forget everything from the past. They're trying to basically, how do I put this? They're trying to redirect your attention, or divert your attention from what really happened, which is like, what you're really pissed off about, which is the fact that they lied to you and cheated on you physically. I'm not talking about flirting on the internet. I'm talking about physically they were intimate with someone else, like probably, had sex with someone, okay? That's what I'm talking about here. They're going to lie. They're trying to divert your attention from that so that you are focused on the feeling overwhelmed, the sensation of, oh, look, this person, this man who, he looks all nice, he's dressed up, he's wearing cologne, he's on, he's paying attention to me. He's taking me out. We went out to a restaurant. He bought me a gift, albeit late, even though, that it's like, oh, he's paying attention to me, and you feel good. It's like that feeling of they want you to feel addicted, or it's a euphoric feeling, but it's of course temporary, right? This is all a trap in a game. It's all an illusion because these feelings, these things that they do, because of the timing, you can feel that because of the synchronicities and the timing of it, it's off. So you know that there's something wrong. You know that they're just once again trying to get something out of you. They're trying to get information out of you, or they're probably trying to get information out of you to use it against you. Maybe legally or whatever, if you're married to one of these people. It's all a game, and I know that. It's almost like you just get enthralled and entrapped in it, and you just go along with it as if you're an actor. Like I'm not a fake person. I'm very genuine with my emotions and my feelings and my words, very real. But you get so entrapped into their world of delusional bullshit lies that you start playing along with it. Subconsciously, you start going along with their agenda or their little script, I guess, because it's like a script that they're following. It's literally like they're on a script. It is. I can't think of any other way to describe it except it's like they are following a script, and you are an unwitting part of their script. Like you're just a piece in the chess game, that you're being moved around. Okay, you're being moved around whenever they're bored or whatever. Here they're gonna, like they say, they put you on the shelf when they're bored. The child puts away the toy and he wants something new, because he wants something new. He wants something more exciting, something more stimulating. He wants somebody who looks different. They get bored. You know, this is how people are. A lot. It's not just men, women too. They want something different. Yeah, and when you've been fucking lied to by somebody, and in my case, since this guy, I know that he had been fucking lying to me, and that's my problem, is I've been too honest with him. I've told him that, you know, since I'm only his friend, since I only put you in a friend category, and you're never anything more than that, which is to confuse you, like, oh, you're my friend, I care about you, okay? But you're not really his girlfriend. He's not committed to just you. So of course you're thinking, well then that means that I am free to date other men, right? I mean, if you're not committed to somebody, if there's no verbiage or exchange of words about a committed relationship where they just want to be monogamous with just you, then sure, that leaves you thinking that, yeah, I guess that means that I can go out on dates with other men. I can be on a dating site if I want. I can talk to other men. Well, why not? Of course you can, because there's no clear definition of what this person wants with you, except just to have you as one of his multiple supplies to just fuck around with when he wants something. But it's all about what they need. And you just become a little subservient slave to their needs and demands, basically, and that's it. That's all you are. You're used, in my case, being used for something that he wants sexually, with a little bit of this and that thrown in here and there to treat me like, oh, you know, you matter to me. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go for a walk. Let's go here. Let's go there. But that never was going on in the beginning. It was all purely, so you know that what they want from you, and it's also mostly purely intimate or sexual, because if they really desired you and wanted you and cherished you and respected you, they would have, invited you to their house on the holidays or something when they know that you're alone. They would have done all kinds of things to let you know that you matter to them and that you're the only one in their life. They wouldn't be embarrassed. They wouldn't keep you as a secret. So you know that they just had an agenda, that it's purely, with this guy, purely something that he needs from me. I get it. I see that. I'm not dumb. You can show me, you can give me a little gift here and there, or try to punish me or gaslight me, or try to shame me or make me feel bad about something. But you know what? I see straight through the fucking facade easily. Every little thing he does, I take mental note of. I take a mental calculation of everything that this guy does, and I have a photographic memory. Just because I don't document everything, and I don't certainly don't record everything, but I have before, and they know that. This is all just, it's all about getting revenge and getting even, but, you know, they're going to act like, oh, I care about you. But you know that these relationships have an expiration date. You know deep down there's something telling you something's off. There's something that just isn't adding up, right? And you know that. That's your gut feeling telling you these things, that you know that there's something that just isn't right because they don't treat you. There's something off. Like, why would they all of a sudden come back and show interest and start asking you about your past? And when they never did that before, they never fucking listened to anything you said before, but all of a sudden now they seem interested. It just doesn't really make sense. It shows a lack of, it shows that it's not genuine. Or this person, what are they trying? Are they trying to learn a lesson from you? Are they using me as a teacher? Or what is what it feels like? Because I know all about this stuff. I'm not an idiot when it comes to these types, because I know about personality. I pay attention to people and their behaviors and their reactions and their body language and all that. I'm it can be very confusing, and nobody's perfect. I don't expect perfection in any kind of relationship. What I expect is honesty and being honest and being direct and honest. If somebody's gonna fucking lie to me, that's where I draw the line. I don't want to be lied about. If I'm asking somebody a serious question, have you had sex with someone since you've been involved with me, and they flat out fucking lie to me about that kind of shit, and you catch them in one lie after the next? Like, for example, lying to me about going to, this is the biggest lie that I caught him in. I mean, yet another one that's pretty big, because he told me that he had disappeared. The last time I had seen him he had showed up in his mother's car over here, and then he said that his car was in the shop or something happened to his car. And then after that, he's like, oh, I'll come by tomorrow. Of course, he did not. And then a month later, he shows up, right? A month later, he all of a sudden reappears after that whole episode. And I remember that I was like, so where have you been? What you been up to? What's new with you? They sent me to Hugh, and then he showed up like right after Thanksgiving, a few days after Thanksgiving or something like that. Yeah, several days after Thanksgiving. And he said that it was right after Thanksgiving, like a couple days after that, I think, or around December 1st or something. I think he showed up. I don't remember. And he's like, the Saks Fifth Avenue sent me to Houston because they were so busy, they needed help. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, I said, did you drive there? He's like, yeah, no. He's like, no. I said, well, how'd you get? I flew. They flew me in a plane. I said, oh, really? So you flew in a plane and they paid for it? I said, oh, and how did you drive? How'd you get around when you were there? If you didn't have a car, what'd you do? And I said, where'd you stay? He said, oh, I stayed in some motel. I said, well, what motel? And I said, La Quinta. And he's like, oh, yeah, La Quinta. He just said, I just said that. And he's like, oh, yeah. I said, well, where was it? Oh, I don't know. It was a few miles from where the Saks Fifth Avenue in Houston at the Galleria. I said, oh, really? And then I said, so how'd you get around? He's like, an Uber. I called Uber, or, I was like, oh, really? Okay, cool. So I said, what'd you do after you worked? You just worked and went back to your hotel? Did you go out at all? Did you explore the city? Did you go to any of the dance clubs or the bars or restaurants, or go to walk to the park? What'd you do? No, I just would work and go straight back to the motel and just work and go to the, okay. Yeah, for a whole month. That's where you were. Right, for a whole month. That's where your Saks Fifth Avenue sent you to work in Houston in the shoe department because they needed help. Right, okay. Okay, if you say so, I believe you. Yeah, exactly. I believe every word you're saying because I can see that I can see through the look in your eyes and the way you're talking that you're lying to me. But okay, I'm going to go along with it. Whatever. Let's let this one blow up in your face. Let's just see how this one is going to blow up. And so then, and the reason I know he was lying again about this one is because just the other day when he showed up again and we went to go, he shows up and we decided to go eat. Well, he showed up one day and I'm on my treadmill working out, and then he shows up. I was like, I'm busy, I can't do this right now. What do you want? I'm kind of, what, this is confusing, Lewis. I'm kind of, what is it? And then we end up going, the next day we end up going to some restaurant. It was my idea. It's like, let's go to an Indian restaurant or something. You should try something new. So we went to this place. And on the way, and it was fine, he liked it. I liked it. I like that kind of food, and I guess he enjoyed it. We had a decent time. I can have a good time with I'm not saying that you can have a really good time with these people when you're out. You can have a good time. You can have good conversations. Things seem to be going well. But the problem is that they lie, right? You know that they are lying to you. And so that's where you start feeling insecure because of the fact that you're being lied to. And that's the big problem, is that you can't, because there's a lack of trust. Whenever someone has lied to you over and over and over again, no matter how small the lie, that right there is a lack of trust and respect. In my book, at least. I don't like being lied to about things, especially when it comes to intimacy and whatnot, because that's a big deal. So that they're lying to you, whatever, but you can still have fun. You can still have a good conversation or whatever, whatever. But, you're just friends. Y'all are just hanging out like good old friends and, okay, right. So we're driving back from that restaurant on the freeway in San Antonio. And then I ask him again, something about planes. The subject of airplanes comes up. I don't know how, but once again, the topic of airplanes. And I hate flying, and supposedly he does too. I can't stand airplanes. I fucking hate them. I can't stand flying. The last time I was in an airplane was probably, I believe it was the year 2004 or something, or 2004 or 5. I don't remember, but I know that I had gone to Miami in an airplane to go visit Eduardo Turan, my host Bolivian brother from Bolivia. He was living in Miami, I went to go visit him for a few days, and I rented a car and drove to Miami, and then I went to the Florida Keys to explore that. But that was to go visit Eduardo and his girlfriend Claudia or whatever. And that's the last time I've ever been in a fucking airplane. And I know that's the last time I was in an airplane, and that was like 2003 or 4 or something, a long time ago. And I asked him again when this topic of airplanes came up. I said, so when was the last time you were in an airplane? Yet, mind you, just a few days ago, he had told me that the last time he was in an airplane was when he went to Houston to go to when his Saks Fifth Avenue flew him to Houston to work at the Houston Galleria store during the holidays. Okay. He told me they flew him in a plane. He told me, and I asked him, I said, oh, really? That you flew in an airplane? And he kept saying, yes, I did. So I know that he told me, yes, that he flew in an airplane just this recently. And then I asked him again, and he said, oh, the last time I was in an airplane was 1985, coming back from Chicago, he said. And I asked him one more time, I said, when was the last time you were in an airplane? And I said, are you sure about that? He said, I'm positive, 1985. I said, you haven't been in one since then? Not recently, nothing? He's like, no, of course not. I remember. I was like, okay, either this guy's got dementia, or he's lying, or he's got amnesia or something. But once again, I guess I caught him in a lie, okay? So that's a big lie right there. And come on. Why does he lie about these things? The question is, if he wants to be with me or fuck around with me and gaslight me and play games with me, who was he with the whole time? Who was he involved with that whole time, right? When he was supposedly working at Saks Fifth Avenue in Houston. Who was he with? What was he doing? Because that's a lie. Okay, he wasn't there. That's just a big lie. Why do they do that? Why? Because they don't have they're impulsive. They have no control over their lies. And this is just what they do. And it doesn't seem to ever change. They get away with lie. Manipulate, lie, gaslight, lie. And this is just something that they do, and I guess they've been doing it for so long that that's all they know how to do, or that they don't know different. And so I was like, I can't believe this. So it's just like, okay, so the guy's a complete liar, right? He's a pathological liar. And then, he gets me this dress. He shows up when he showed up the other day, because I had mentioned, it was my birthday. He's like, oh, let me get in it. And he kept calling me from work. I was like, I'm going to get you something. I got you something. I'm like, you don't have to do that. I'm just letting you know that it was my birthday on the 5th. When he showed up a couple days after that. I was like, because he was asking me what I did for Christmas and all that. I was like, I was here by myself. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything for New Year's. I didn't do anything for Christmas. Well, I take that back. On New Year's Day, I did go for a walk. Was it on New Year's Day? I think New Year's Day I did, or New Year's Eve. I think I did go for a walk with this guy who I met for a brief little walk at the park. Whatever. Okay, yeah, because I was on this dating site. Well, why not? If I'm single, or that I'm not in a committed role. I haven't had sex with anybody. I haven't been intimate with anybody in 3 or 4 years, at least 3.5 years. And I know the last person I was intimate, like sex with. And with this man, I've never had sex with him. It's just been something else mostly, So whatever, I know because I don't lie, and I'm not lying. But since I am supposedly single, or that I'm not, if it's not a committed relationship, then that gives me the freedom to be able to date someone else, hello. I'm not going to waste time waiting for somebody who's never going to commit. If they can't commit to you, then they can't, and they don't want to. Don't waste time. And plus, even if they say that they are committed to you, or if they want to, that just gives them the green light to go cheat and do whatever it is that they do, because they can't remain loyal. They don't know how to be loyal to anybody. Narcissistic people, somatic narcissists, usually are not able to remain loyal to one person. That's why they don't build. They have a very difficult time building a strong foundation in real relationship, because they just monkey branch from one person to the next. They don't want to create a real bond. They just want to have their freedom. It's like the free sex thing, that whole fucking thing where they just want free sex. They want free love. They want free this. They don't want to commit. They don't want the responsibility of having to work on a real committed relationship, because that involves emotions. It involves time. It involves effort. It involves honesty, communication, and these people don't want that, because they're going to get too bored too quickly, and they need the constant gratification of the chase of something new. So forming a real bond, or a something that's actually, a real committed relationship, is not going to be something that's going to be feasible for them, because they're afraid. They're deep down, they're afraid of that. They've been hurt before, maybe in a marriage or whatever, something went wrong where they cheated or somebody cheated on them. They got hurt, and they're going to carry that with them from one relationship to the next, because they don't want the fear of being rejected, the fear of being alone, the fear of being cheated on, because they have those fears as well, but they project it onto you. They might desire that deep down. They might want something where they feel secure and safe or whatever, but they don't fucking, it's all about, with somatic fucking narcissists, once again, it's all about sex, it's about image, it's about status, it's about you being a little fucking sidekick object that looks good, and then they're gonna start constantly criticizing you about your weight, about your what you eat, about the way you dress, about your clothing style, okay? And giving me a little tiny black dress, it looks nice, it's a great little dress, I like it, but I'm not in size extra fucking small. I mean, I'm not big and I'm not small, I'm average, okay? And they have this fantasy, these men, mostly have a fantasy about having some woman who's going to be a little twiggy, 80-pound girl who looks like a little twig, who looks like a little Barbie doll, emaciated Barbie doll, who doesn't eat, who doesn't do anything except you pull a little string, and she's going to smile and wave and be a little object for him to play with and look good in whatever clothing that he can put you in, whether it's going to be a little tight dress or some tight little jeans. It's got to be form-fitting. Notice that everything with these people, they want you to look, it's everything that you wear. It better be fit you like fucking tight little glove so that you look like a little doll. If you're out with them in public, sure as a fuck, you better look like a goddamn fucking sex object. Because, I need this person to make me look good and make me feel better about myself. Because if she's looking like a rag doll or not wearing a perfect outfit that fits her figure, or she looks fat, or she doesn't look good, then it's going to make me look bad. And I'm a narcissist, and I have to, I need somebody to make me feel like like I'm such better than that. You know how they are. You have to be an object. You're a accessory for them. They don't give a fuck about how you feel or comfort. They might look like a fucking slug wearing pants and clothes that haven't been washed. They smell. The clothes need to be washed. They wear the same outfit over and over again when they're around you. But you're expected to get all dressed up and look good for them, except, they're going to get dressed up when they go to work. Of course, they're going to wear the suit and tie and all that shit and look good with all the cologne and all that crap when they go. Because why? Because they're impressing clients, and there's going to be women, and, I might meet somebody. I might meet a rich woman who's going to, of course. But around you, they don't give a fuck what they look like. They don't care if they're wearing a goddamn fucking overalls that have shit smeared all over it from working in a farm, for example, or whatever. They don't care. They don't care about impressing you. Once they get you again, once they think they have you again, they couldn't fucking care less, because they think that they've got you secured now and locked down, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want. But they're going to sure as hell make sure they look good for total strangers, because guess what? They treat total strangers much better than you, because that could be an opportunity. You see, everybody for them is an opportunity. Everybody's got something to offer. This person could do this for me. This person could do that. This person might have more money. This person, it's all about money and status and materialistic. And so with me, if I have a little bit of money, they're going to make sure that, they get a hold of it or something. If it's financial abuse, they're going to sure as fuck make sure that they're going to exploit you for that or steal from you, because it's basically stealing from you or controlling you, because they want financial control, and they want, you'll become, here it is, once again, once you're getting older and you're not looking so hot, you're not going to the fucking gym every day and people aren't staring at you, you're doing your own thing, so you're not some kind of a goddamn fucking object, then they're going to start turning it around, and now you're just going to be, we're going to put you in the role of caretaker. Now you're going to be the caretaker again, but you're going to have to satisfy me sexually, but I'm going to put you in the role of caretaker. You're a tertiary supply, an object. I've got my others that I go out with, that we just go out to the club, and she's wearing her little fucking high heels and tight skirt, and she's the one who I have fun with, and we maybe snort some cocaine and get drunk and fornicate and, go to the hotel, and that's my fun girl, She's the one who I'm going to be having fun with, right? There's always going to be somebody I'm going to have one who cooks for me and cleans for me. I'm going to have another girl that I just go out with to be the prop, my sidekick, the one that makes me look good because she's got the body and the outfit. Okay, and she's fun. We have fun and drink and get fucking drunk. There's always going to be a different woman for a different role that he wants you to play. And I'm not your fucking goddamn, I'm not an actor. I'm not here to play a fucking role for you. I'm just done. Okay, I just realize I just want to be left the fuck alone. I'm already exhausted. You get exhausted mentally and physically. These people fucking wear you out. because that's what they want to do. They want to wear you out. They want to wear you thin. They want to make you stop eating. They want to make you emaciated. They want you to always be worried about what you look like, concerned about if you're performing sexually, giving them a good enough fucking blowjob, whatever the fuck it is that they want. And if you're not doing that good enough, they're going to criticize and punish you for that. So it's always going to be something that's not right. Always. They can't just be happy in the moment. You know, just being around you is not enough. It's always got to be something that you have to give or do. They can't just enjoy the moment of solitude or quiet. It's got to be something going on to make them happy and excited, and they can't just be in the moment. That's what these people, they can't just enjoy a moment of, like, maybe watch. They can't do it. They need the constant fucking stimulation. And it's an addiction that they have. If they're an alcoholic, or if they're a sex addict or something, maybe a drug addict, maybe they secretly are cocaine addicts, maybe they secretly are heroin addicts or whatever it is that you don't know about. Maybe they see, you don't know exactly what it is that these people do, but you're never gonna be good enough. Ever. And this will go on and on and on, and you'll continue to realize that it's not getting anywhere. It's not progressing. It's just going to stay stagnant. Because if they really fucking took you seriously and respected you, they would have already probably invited you to their house and met their parents or some of their family or some of their friends if they have any. They wouldn't keep you as a secret. And I'm just talking to myself about re-evaluating the whole situation where, wait a minute, that they come back when something is not going right with the other supply, or they need you for a certain something, and they go back to that other person or find someone. This is what they do. They recycle. They get back. They just keep on going through the rotation. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. That's why that's why the marriages fail. The relationships fail, because they don't have the ability to make a solid commitment to anyone. It's very difficult for them to do that. And if you're expecting that from somebody who's a narcissist, don't expect it. Don't waste your time thinking that, eventually he'll come around, or no, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if he says he's lying to you. Because they come back, like he comes back when there's something going on with my house. He wants to know everything about what's going on with this fucking countertop that they tore away in the sink and all that leak. He's interested in knowing about that. Why? Because it involves money. Okay? And I'm sure that eventually he wants to move into this house and probably take over the title or something. They have an agenda. And probably they're already doing something where they want control over some kind of guardianship or some kind of control because they want to make sure that you look disabled or incapacitated or physically, emotionally weak. And this can go for, it doesn't have to be, this is what my mother does. They want to make sure that I look like I'm weak and fragile and emotionally unstable or whatever, so they can financially control me. I see it. I'm not dumb. I see all the shit, like I talked about, all the shit that they did with this fucking leak, that they exaggerated and completely fucking destroyed that countertop, which was already fucked up anyway. But you see what they do? It's about financial control and trying to make me look like I'm crazy because, no. It's what every fucking thing that they've done to me. They came into my fucking house and invaded my privacy and did this. I didn't do a goddamn thing except call the fucking Roto-Rooter to have a leak fixed. They're the ones who did this, not me. Not me. At all. And that's why I feel like I need an attorney. A smart, good, qualified fucking attorney would be able to see exactly what the fuck they're doing to me. It's about financial abuse. It's about stealing my fucking inheritance or some kind of life insurance policy that maybe I'm a beneficiary to that I don't know about, or some trust fund. There's something that they want to steal my fucking money. It's about money. And I can take care of myself. I don't fucking need anybody. I'm a smart person. I'm strong. These people just want to fucking take over everything because they're fucking greedy, stuck up fucking narcissists. is what they are. They want to just give you the hand-me-downs. The hand-me-downs, what nobody wants. Oh, she'll deal with that. She's just let me just give her the leftovers, right? I'm not a fucking leftover. I'm not an object. I deserve a better, just like anybody else, okay? Just because I might have eclectic tastes and I like strange vintage things or skulls and candles and incense doesn't mean I'm fucking crazy. But let them think whatever the fuck they want, okay? I don't fucking care what people think about me, really, because I know who I am. And I know that I'm a spiritual person. I know that I have God on my side. And I know these things. I don't need their goddamn validation, because I can validate myself. If people don't respect you for who the fuck you are already, they're not going to ever. And don't let them try to change you into someone who you're not, to be their little goddamn side piece or their little fucking accessory so that they feel better, to boost their fucking ego for a day or two, to make them feel, put them on a pedestal, because that's what it's about. It's about status and image and looking good, because their ego with people, a lot of them. It's about them, oh, what if somebody sees me with you and look at the way I'm drunk. You know, you need to look perfect, and because of my image and status, and I'm an egocentric, machista narcissist, and oh yeah, okay, there's so many of these kinds of men like that out there all over the goddamn place, and women are just as fucking bad. Some of them are just as bad, if not fucking worse. That's why I just stay to myself, mostly. And that's it for this video, because I can see through the bullshit. I see the hoovering. I see the attempts to try to woo me back in to your fucking love bombing trap of delusion, so that you can once again try to control me and abuse me mentally, psychologically, sexually, take advantage like a fucking sex object. But at least you're not hitting me and causing violence and hurting me physically. But all of that could turn to that. It could easily turn into something that becomes violent if I'm not careful. If I keep letting this kind of predatory behavior, he could turn violent, he could kill me, he could try to poison me like he once tried to do, believe it or not. He could try to do all this stuff and really nobody would know, because these people have a fucked up, psychotic, wicked, evil agenda. They're evil. Deep down, they're fucking evil. They have an hatred towards what they don't have, what you might have, and they probably hate you. Deep down, they fucking hate you, and God knows they want to get revenge, but they're gonna pour on the fucking charm and make it look like it's real when it's not. If you've already caused a narcissistic injury to somebody and pissed them off and caught them in lies, then why wouldn't they want to come back and get revenge on you and destroy you even more? Why wouldn't they? Since you figured them out. Of course they don't give a shit about you. They want to get revenge and to get an even one-up on you and to fucking destroy you and probably kill you. Deep down, that's what they want. I feel that. I think. So it's an illusion. It's an illusion. These people have a dark agenda. They might be satanic. They don't really believe in God. They mock Christianity. Notice how they'll talk about she's a Christian. So, what if somebody's a Christian? What's a big deal? There's nothing wrong with a good Christian person, is there? I don't think. Well, I mean, if a person's a Catholic, isn't it all the same thing? Kinda, sort of. Yeah, I mean, do they not understand that Jesus is the light of the world and the Son of God? And that's what it's about? Is that Jesus is all over the world? He's the light of the world, and he's the Son of God. In every culture, even in the Hindu, Indian, it's all Jesus is a king. Jesus is the metaphor. Jesus is the light of the world. It's universal. And so for anybody to mock religion or mock somebody's beliefs, if you believe in Jesus, and Jesus is your God, and whatever you worship and respect Jesus, they might mock that and make fun of you and criticize you or challenge you. And don't let them do that. Don't let them destroy your belief system or destroy your belief in God or what you believe, your dogma. or whatever, you know? Because that's your individuality. That's your something that's sacred to you. And if they want to come in and try to get all this satanic or fucking demonic shit into your life by causing problems and their stupid little fucking witchcraft shit that some of these people do, their stupid fucking spell shit. Sorry for cussing so much, but I know that a lot of these people practice some kind of goddamn Santeria or voodoo shit, witchcraft, whatever it is that they do, which is just downright fucking stupid and evil. And always, if you people don't understand that about that stuff, if you're dumb enough to not understand about witchcraft and shit like that, when you're going around putting evil spells on people or trying to do love spells and crap like that or whatever, or death spells, I don't know what these people do, but it will come back to get you. It will come back to haunt you. Don't they know how the law of the universe, it's called karma, that's how that works? You throw something out there to somebody like that, well, it's going to come back to you and hit you and ricochet. That's what that does. That's why I don't mess around with that shit. I've never done anything like that, nor would I ever be that dumb to do anything like that. I might not have the best thoughts about somebody and say shit out loud, but if I ever, yeah, I guess you could say that's kind of like cursing spells, like talking loud and saying shit when I'm mad, but there's a big difference. You know, I don't do little light a fucking voodoo doll of somebody and get a picture of them and say, stick needles in it and say, I want you dead, or whatever the fuck it is these people do. I don't know, and I don't want to know. I've never done anything like that, or bury somebody in a fucking graveyard, or a picture of them and all this weird satanic stuff that some people do in different cultures and countries and even here. Whatever, let them, that's very third world, very archaic, very, very ignorant behavior, in my opinion. That kind of barbaric behavior is very, just that word, barbaric and demonic. That's all I'm going to say for now. Yeah, that's my video for now. I'm here in my room, and that's it for now.